fucked up, homie, you fucked up. But if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
Welcome back to Beauty Begins With You because we are all what? Beautiful, okay? And as you can see, I'm going to show you how I mastered this look. But I'm going to do something a little different today. I'm going to be talking about some things that has been on my mind. So stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow for more, okay? Next video is coming out on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern. So let's get right into it. Many of you have seen the outcome of the election for 2025. And I want to say, as someone who is a provider, I'm a marriage and family therapist, I have not truly gotten the chance to dissect and reflect in its fullness of the impact of the election. I spent more time just helping and supporting my people served that I just want to, do my makeup and just chit chat with you for a little bit. So, this election outcome, I literally did the same thing last time Trump was elected. I wasn't really paying attention to the news and so forth because I was like, I'm not going to stress myself out. I am just going to carry on my day to day. And that's what I did. I worked, I did what I need to, and I went to bed early. And when I woke up the next day, the prediction was Trump won. I was like, well, technically, no one has gotten 270 electoral college votes yet, but it was predicted, right? That was the case. So a lot of emotions initially went through my head was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'm not shocked, but I'm also like, what does this even mean? And that's what a lot of people are asking themselves. That's what a lot of people who I've talked to, work with, whether it's friends, co-workers, or even individuals served. What happens next? What happens to my right as a woman? What happened to my rights as someone who's trans? What happens to my rights as someone who is married to the same sex? What happens to my rights as an immigrant? And those questions are extremely loaded. Now, there's going to be people, obviously, who are extremely happy about this outcome, and by all means, go for it. However, I'm more focusing my energy on today and supporting and reflecting on my own thoughts and experience in this world and what this means for me. Also, again, as I mentioned, I'm a provider. And as a provider, I work with communities of low income, communities who don't have all the things that they need that other communities have the privilege of having. Okay? That also means if there is changes in their Medicaid or Medicare insurance, that impacts their access to treatment. And we talk about these crises of we need people in therapy, we need more mental health, but then to attack specifically services that allow for accessibility in these communities is extremely harmful. I'm not worried about my job or anything like that. That's not my biggest concern because I know one thing about me, two things for certain. I am flexible. I'm able to do other work other than mental health work. I have other degrees as well. But it's more so it's a domino effect. And I think for me, I'm just like so numb. I'm like, oh, okay, Melina, we made it through. We'll be all right. But I didn't realize how much I wasn't processing until I finished out my workday. And I was like, okay, wow, it's time to really, truly reflect on this. And my concerns just goes with the trauma, the emotional distress that this all caused that can technically be avoided, but you know what? It is what it is. However, I will say my concerns that I've noticed that other members of my community, the Black community specifically, highlighted, like, you know what? Black women specifically in the Black community, like, you know what, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep fighting every fight. We can't keep showing up in every single thing to help and support others when it's not reciprocated, right? And that hit so many open wounds in so many different ways for me, because I'm just thinking of my experience in general of being a support and helping others and people not showing up and supporting and helping me. They're like, things can't be transactional, but in the society and the world that we live in, almost every single relationship is transactional, even down to friendships. Like, you're not going to surround yourself with people who are not, bringing light or positive or improving your life in any shape or way. It doesn't make any sense, right? And I will be the first to admit, I used to just be like, yeah, I'll be friends with anyone. But at some point in my life, as I got older, as I expand on who I am and how I want to show up in this world, I started to recognize, like, wait, I need to surround myself with like-minded people, because a lot of times when you don't surround yourself with like-minded people or people that have that potential and openness and willingness to learn and grow with you, you have to make this decision like, hey, is this someone I want to keep in my life? Is this someone that I see that I can grow with? And a lot of times I find myself just distancing myself from people and just keeping on my own. But that's not what we are here for. We're supposed to make connections, right? That's the most humanist thing that you can do, is build and connect with others. But in an individualistic world that is becoming more and more, even in other countries that are more collectivist, I'm starting to hear from those communities that they're like, no, I'm taking a step away. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep being the person who provides and takes care of everyone. That's a lot of weight. And sometimes I forget how much of that weight and that burden I carry, right? And sometimes I find myself becoming very resentful and angry, because it's like, well, dang, when do I get to be carried? When do I get a break? And I feel like that's what I'm seeing unfold more and more after this election. It's more marginalized communities, and even more specifically, the Black community, starting to walk away, starting to turn their backs on things and causes that they so deeply supported. I'm not judging anyone in the Black community, because I think all of us deal and cope with trauma and deal and cope with these differences in different ways. Some shut down, some like keep going. They're like, no, we're just going to keep seeing it through. We're going to keep seeing it through. I'm going to keep walking through this storm no matter what happened, and I'm going to keep seeing it through. But some of us are tired. Some of us really need to take a pit stop and reevaluate what it is that we're standing and fighting for. Reevaluate what it is that we're working towards. And sometimes we just need people to take their breaks. We need to allow space to be acceptable for those who are struggling, those who are fighting and struggling, to take a step back some days and take a break. What that break looks like and the outcome of the ways in which that you're taking a break, it's going to look different. I know some people are going back to Starbucks or going back to McDonald's or communicating that that is what they're going to do, right? And those organizations are still harmful. Like, I even caught myself. I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Oops, excuse my language. Yeah, F it. And then I sat to myself and I sat and I looked and I was like, wait, this is not who I am. This is not what I stand for. And that is a reflection on me, right? And that's going to be a reflection on other people when they make decisions to do whatever it is that they're going to do. Just like the people who made decisions to vote for whoever they voted for. You're going to have some positives, you're going to have some negative in the ways in which you see how people navigate over these next 4 years. My biggest concern is we're going to continue down a path where people are just tired, where people really truly feel like their voice no longer matters, their experience, no matter what, no longer matters. And that's truly sad because we have fought so hard as a community to rebuild people's self-esteem, to rebuild the confidence. Like, hey, justice happens, things can work out. But there is so much that goes into this. It's not even funny. My hope for myself is to finish out this year on the goals that I'm working towards, but also to explore deeply within myself what I want to do. What are my next steps? Where do I see myself? I'm obviously going to continue with my content creation, but how do I want to show up? What does this look like? How can I support me and my family? And at what cost does that go against my values? And can I maintain these values and still survive this world? I think that last part is going to be the hardest thing to reflect. But as of today and as of right now, I'm maintaining my boundaries, I'm maintaining my values, my morals, and I'm maintaining my spot in this world where I want to fight for. But I'm also going to be mindful of taking more time for myself. I mean, I work out 4 days a week. Now I have an extra day where I'm like taking swimming lessons. So hopefully that's going to help me. But I know not everyone has accessibility. I know not everyone has the capacity to fight right now. Some people just need space. And I am saying this to all my marginalized communities. It is okay to put your capes away and breathe for a second. It is not human. It is not real for any of us to be fighting every single day of our life. You are allowed to breathe. You are allowed to take a step back. And you are allowed to be given grace. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more. And I really enjoyed doing this makeup look, and I think it came out beautifully.